Hi guys, welcome to another corner video where I just thought I'd give you an update as to how my restore stuff's going at the moment. But also would like to give you an update on 2 new MacBooks that I'm getting during the week. So I've got a mid-09 MacBook Pro coming, to which then I'll put Mavericks on it, and then I've got a late 2010 MacBook Air coming as well. That's going to have High Sierra put on it as well. It's rather interesting how it's all coming about. It's all coming nicely together. And with that being said, I only need one more, and I've completed my macOS X cupboard. And with that being announced, I can now say that I'm going to try for a mid-2010 MacBook. I'm burning software restore disks as we speak. This is as far as I've got so far. So I've done the MacBook Air stuff. I'm working on the late 09 MacBooks, and I've done MacBook Pro. I'm just waiting on everything else. It's just nice to know that everything then became internet based, because it then saves you all those. You know that anytime you want to do a restore disk, you'd need a dual layer DVD because of how big the files are. I mean, with that being said, we've got some disks that require about 8.2 gigabytes. But what this video plans to do is I plan to take you through the last bits of my restore, sorting out my macOS X cupboard. And then after I've done that, I will show you exactly what the rest of it entails. Join me back in a bit after this. And I'm back, and I just thought I'd quickly hop on and give you another quick update as to what's going on. So what we've got at the moment is I'm verifying the last installed disk for the 2010 MacBook, and I then discovered that I've got a mid-2010 MacBook Pro which needs its software restore disks. Now I understand that they both use the same version, so they both came shipped with Snow Leopard 10.6.3. But it's also important to note at this stage that they're both for different types of models. So the software restore disks for a MacBook wouldn't necessarily go too well on a MacBook Pro, because there are different bits of software that make up the different machines. I mean, for one thing, one installed disk is slightly bigger than the other, which has to be taken into account. And one came slightly before the other. I've got it set up so that the Pro has a slightly higher software mod, that has the slightly higher version of macOS once it's finally done. So with the mid-2010 MacBook, I'm going to put, I'm just trying to think of what I was going to say. That was it, Sierra And on the mid-2010 MacBook, which is the one I'm going to be going for, eventually that will have El Capitan put on it. Now, I used to own a mid-2010 MacBook, but then I couldn't do anything with it. Screws were all thread locked, so I couldn't replace the hard drive. And I couldn't put anything newer than Yosemite on it. So I'm going to try again and see what happens. I shall look into that when I get paid next. But join me back in a bit as I set up my late 2009 MacBook. And I put Mavericks on it. No, I won't. I put Yosemite on it. Join me back in a bit after this. And I'm back, and I'm with my late 2009 MacBook. So I'm just going to set this up. Need to restore this back to Snow Leopard first. Get the apps on the go because I want to downgrade this to Yosemite eventually. Just wait for this to sort stuff out. I have to use an external mouse for this because this trackpad's broken. Just wait for this to sort stuff out. Just had a thought actually. You can always press C to go into. You can always press C to go into the not the hard drive. You can always press C to go into the disk. Sorry, my head's all over the place at the moment. I'm getting messed up, mixing up my words. But hopefully you know what I'm trying to say. I've got my MacBook Pro discs downloading as we speak. And with that being said, we can then just get to restoring this and join me back in a bit after this. And I'm back. Wow. And after all that kerfuffle of it's saying it might be corrupted or tampered with during downloading, it said, quick delete this version and download it from the App Store. Well, it's done that a few times and I had downloaded it from the App Store. And I know that this software is absolutely fine because I've downloaded it from Apple's website. There we go. I downloaded it from Apple's website. So I know it's absolutely fine. Just glad I finally managed to get it to work. I just had to set the time and date to July 2015. And also a tip for that would be to move it over to your hard drive and not leave it on the USB. So I've done that, and as you can see for yourself, I'll show you what it's done. Just quickly show you what it's done. It's an interesting world we live in, but it's also getting worrying at the same time because you can't. It's getting to the point where you're no longer able. Just get the camera straight. It's getting to the point where you are no longer able to access the App Store. So I've had that problem with Snow Leopard, Lion and Mountain Lion. It might be the same case scenario for Yosemite, but we'll find out. Sierra allows you to access the App Store. I'm hoping Yosemite does. I'm hoping Mavericks does as well when I get there. There's only one way to find out, and that's just to patiently wait. But I'm just waiting for this at the moment. But join me back in a bit, and I'll just wrap everything up in the sense of sorting out my macOS X cupboard. And I'm back, and it's just a quick one now before I just wrap everything up. So I finally got Yosemite to work on my 2009 MacBook. What I'm going to do is I'm going to apply as many updates as I can. I can do everything in the iSuite apart from Final Cut, which isn't too much of a problem. I can download version 10.0.7 and it should work with Yosemite until I can update it. There's also an update for iTunes as well, which I want to be able to install after I've done all that. But yeah, it's been a rather arduous journey to upgrade this one, and I sense it's going to be the same for Mavericks as well, so I'm going to have to do that work around there as well. But I'll get there eventually. It's just going to take a bit. It's just going to take a bit of a while, and also I need to wait for my 2009 MacBook Pro as well. Well, interestingly enough, in my 12 Electronics of Christmas animation I did many years ago, I said on the 5th day of Christmas, PC World sends me 5 MacBook Pros. When this one comes along, I will have 5 MacBook Pros. In total, I will have 5 MacBook Pros. So this will be an interesting one. Maybe I might have predicted something. Well, that's what James said anyway. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.